Hey guys, welcome back. Let's play Xenoblade Chronicles X, and in this episode we're gonna get started on Chapter 3, but before I do that, I mentioned briefly in the past episode about the Collectopedia, and could you not get that close to me? That'd be cool. Okay, now we have access to this. So the Collectopedia is an element that comes back from the original Xenoblade Chronicles. Essentially, we basically just put things, and doesn't essentially and basically mean the same thing, John? We put the materials that we gather in the overworld and put them into this book, and slowly but surely we will be filling it up. Now there's a lot of reasons that you want to do this, mostly because if we fill an entire row we get a very helpful item, and also it's just one of those things to, add to your 100%. Also, if you get a lucky panel you get some bonus BP, so that's always nice. So when I'm talking about the Collectopedia and putting items into it, this is what I'm referring to. Now, there is no real reason to do this, but honestly, I'm just a completionist and I need to put every single item into this. However, you may have some incredibly rare drops, and you may not be totally sure if you want to put them in the Collectopedia. That's totally fine. However, I'm different, I have to put everything into it, and yes, if you do put an item into the Collectopedia, it goes away forever. However, the benefits, in my opinion, outweigh the cost. And speaking of BP, since we do get BP from that, let's examine our party, and I cannot believe it took me this long, but yeah, your party members also gain BP, and you should probably get to leveling up their arts. But the same, why did I move those around? I definitely would have Shadow Strike all that, but let's upgrade some of Elma's arts, because, yes, the game doesn't do it for you. You have to come in here manually and choose which arts you want to upgrade, and I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, that should be good. We're going to get some more BP in this episode, and we might as well do the same thing for Lyn. I recommend, though, highly, if you get Wild Smash and Wild Down on Lyn, that'd be a good idea, and let's see. I think I'll go Wild Down to rank 3, and then I'll hang on to a bit of her BP because we're going to level her up a little bit more, and she's also going to get a new art in this episode. But now that we've taken care of that, there's another thing I want to discuss. We've had the arms dealer. I say arms dealer, but it's kind of funny. I'm about to go buy an arm literally from my character, but okay, not an arm, but a thing. You know what I mean? Okay, let's head over to the weapon shop and briefly discuss this. So in Xenoblade Chronicles, gear is heavenly, saying everything wrong today, I guess, but there's always a time for that. Gear is incredibly important, so always equip your strongest gear for your character. And can I just say, this is hands down my new favorite feature in Xenoblade Chronicles X. The fact that just with a button press, we can equip our strongest gear automatically. You see, now my character looks a tiny bit different. He kind of just has that arm going on, but here is where we can buy some, items for our character. So if you're missing a little bit of armor and you just look a little bit silly, like my character, for instance, only has one armored arm. You can come to a shop just like in pretty much every other RPG ever and purchase some armor. So let's check out some of this. I'm not sure if that constitutes as armor, but we're just going to pick up another survival glove and equip it, since we do have a couple credits to blow. Honestly, it's just a nitpicky thing with me and Xenoblade. My character has to be symmetrical, and in X, it's like left and right armor. It's kind of one of the things I'm not a big fan of, because sometimes you'll just look really off balance. But yeah, now that's been taken care of, we still need to complete one of our quests before starting Chapter 3. You may remember last time we got that quest from Sadie, and we still didn't do it. So let's fast travel and get started on that. And alright, the probe closest to the Silent Mire is our next destination. I've already changed the quest tracking, and please don't step on me! Okay, it will do any damage to you, but they said you flying. Maybe I should show that off, actually, 'cause it's kind of funny. But over here, we're going to find this giant body of water. And also this little guy, look at him. Basically, I haven't mentioned this yet, but the nameplates above enemies dictates how powerful they are in relation to you. Gray are the easiest, you shouldn't really worry about them, but purple are a little more dangerous, and red are the most dangerous. Think of it like a rainbow, but in reverse plus gray. But over here is Miles, who we need to find to complete this quest, and yeah, you guys look a little deserted. Need some help there? I'm sure you do. And where did his gun go? And hey, little up over here! Some indigent attacked us during our assignment. One of my men pretty good. That is a lady, sir. I do not think that's nice of you to say. And Scale's busted too. Dang. They won't move at all. Think maybe you could spare some supplies? We can. And oh, Sadie sent you. Well, why didn't you say instead of letting me fly my ghost like an idiot? I'm silent protagonist, man. Here, give me the supplies. Need to get this Scale patched pronto. Alright, man. Here you go. Means your parcel after all. And thanks, pal. You're a lifesaver. I asked Sadie for help, but wasn't exactly getting my hopes up. Know what I mean? Is she unreliable or something? I'm impressed you made it out here in one piece. Well, you know, it was just we got lucky, even though it was just a short walk, and lucky, right. Well, we sure as heck were. Those indigents turned up out of nowhere. How the heck did you beat the whimsical Duke? We didn't? What? You made it all the way here without running into it? Not even one? Well, we did, but we kind of just walked around it, and sheesh. Either somebody watched out for you, or somebody's got in it for you. One or the other. Wait, that means the dang whimsical Dougal's still on the rampage somewhere. Yeah, right over there. We just passed him. I'll just go kick his butt if you want me to. Not every blade's as lucky as you know. You gotta take that thing out before it kills. Oh, yeah, good point. What do you say? I think that luck of yours is good enough to beat a whimsical Yeah, I don't think we'll have a problem versus it. We'll kick its butt, and I'm sure you know how frustrating it is to have your assignment put on hold. Do this for a fellow blade. Secure the route and kick that ugly thing right in the teeth. Does it even have teeth? Hope you're waiting for your juicy details. Alright, so our next objective is to battle this enemy I kind of just ignored. And yet again, another fantastic addition to Xenoblade Chronicles X. I should probably just start calling it X because you know what I mean. Quest monsters have a giant exclamation point above them, and that is our target, the whimsical Dougal. But before we take this on, unlike other RPGs with a similar nature, in Xenoblade Chronicles, we can play as our party members, and I'm going to be doing this a lot throughout the series. I know you probably want to see our main character, but I want to show off the other classes, like Elma's Full Metal Jaguar. So yeah, we can literally play as Elma. I don't know about you, but I like that a lot. So let's demonstrate what she can do versus this enemy. And really, the members of your party in this game, I gotta say, early on, they're a lot more interesting than you. And let's try and... Oh my god, he ran into the water. That is not... Okay, we need to bait the enemy onto the shore, if at all possible. Get over here, man. And really, this enemy is not too difficult. As long as it's not raining outside, you should totally be fine. And, oh, we could... No, we don't have the BP to show that off here. Not BP, I mean... TP, tension points. Let's go ahead and use a combo, though. Why the heck not? So, combos in this game, basically, one skill benefits from the other. And let's see, might as well use upper hand. And cross is not... Cross, are you even fighting, dude? What the... He's just running around. Alright, not sure how I feel about that, but as I was saying, combos. This skill, Stream Edge, highly benefits from ranged combos, and I keep running in the water and getting stuck. Oh my gosh, well, that's what I get for trying to show something off in a video. Anyways, use a gun attack and then Stream Edge, and it'll do a ton of damage. That's what I was trying to show off there. Let's try that on an enemy that... Ooh, that is way too strong for me to fight. Let's try that on an enemy later on so you get a better idea of what I was talking about. But yeah, that guy's not too tough. Miles, how'd you lose to him, for crying out loud? But yeah, that's the end of the quest. Gotta say, kind of an easy one. And, well, did you be the whimsical Dougal in the next week yet? Hold on now. Judging from the air of confidence and the smug grin on your face, I'd say that baby's 6 feet under. Well, shoot, that's music. It wasn't too hard, man. I really don't know what took you so long, and I really gotta thank you. Well, while you were off fighting, I was working on the skill. Almost got it all patched up. So we're getting back to work without losing much time, thanks to you. Well, bang these data probes in front of your nav probe sites and back home in time for supper. Hopefully the indigent data they churn out will make sure no one else gets another nasty surprise. That'd be great. So here we could pick support or inquire. I'm gonna go support, man. You did a good job, and okay, they'll give us some affinity with Elma. I'm gonna try my best to show our supporting character so you know which affinity gets to which character and all that stuff in future episodes. And that means it's time for me to patch the skill up and get back to work. Some planet we picked to crash into. Oh man, could have picked worse. It's easy to forget how nuts this place is until you get your butt handed to you by some giant monster. I mean, for the foreseeable future, we're probably going to be fighting things that can easily crush skills. I gotta remember to be a lot more careful, or I'm going to wind up a lot more dead. No more rookie mistakes for me on here on out. You be careful too, yeah? Let's the both of us live a long, long time. See where humanity goes, you know? Alright, I like the sounds of that, and for completing Miles to Go, we will get a decent amount of EXP and also a makeshift gauze eye patch. Can't wait to see what that looks like. So yeah, that's just another little side quest I wanted to show off, and we might as well try and get into another battle, if at all possible, with Elma, because I did a terrible job of showing off why the Full Metal Jaguar is a cool class to be. And we can eventually become a Full Metal Jaguar, but not the same as Elma's. I did show off the class screen, and yet again, I want to find an enemy. We'll find him up here, I guess. It's not the end of the world. Our party members do have the same classes that we can potentially become, but they have unique skills and also will learn different arts that we can never get access to. So that's what separates them from us. And let's see. Don't really need to change the time, but if at all possible, let's try and battle these Honey Pepil. So I can show off this attack. So basically, you can combo arts together. You see here, on the arts palette, we have a skill that benefits from a combo. Meaning, if we first start with a ranged art and then use it, it will do way more damage. Unfortunately, we don't have the TP to use it, which is kind of a bummer, and I should have thought of that before battling. Okay, we got the stagger. Another thing I want to talk about is, in Xenoblade Chronicles, stagger is your best friend. You want to stagger literally everything whenever you can, unless it's immune to it. And okay, now we can use Stream Edge. This will do a lot more damage because we just used a ranged attack, and yeah, that did a sizable amount of more damage. And let's see, this is a buff, might as well use it. Why the heck not? Oh, something saw us from the looks of it. Not too sure what it is. Let's just go for Shadow Strike one more time. I love that animation, by the way. It is really, really cool. And finish this thing off. Yeah, Full Metal Jaguar, pretty cool class, I gotta say. Ooh, gold drop, not bad. But that's not necessarily what I'm aiming for. We'll get into which class I want to use, well, in a future episode, when the time comes. But let's actually show off our second party member, which is Lynn, who is a shield trooper. And you're gonna notice each class has dramatically different gameplay. So Lynn is pretty much the Rhine of this game. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but she is a tank, despite being a little girl. I kind of like that, actually. It's usually the big burly men that do all the damage absorption, but in this game, it's Lynn, and if I recall, there should be an enemy that's going to ambush us while we try. Oh, there he is, or it, I guess. It's a giant stinking plant. So Lynn's job is basically to taunt the enemy and force them to attack her. Also, I want to use this attack because it does a lot of damage to toppled enemies, and oh my gosh, that was a lot. So, no one else is being attacked here, and the second I say that, it attacks everybody. Okay, no one is being damaged except for Cross. I'm trying to explain things, man, come on, but Lynn's primary role is to make sure other people do not get damaged, and she does a pretty good job at that. Usually, 9 times out of 10, she'll try and topple the enemy, knock him down, and then do her attack that, you know, does bonus damage to toppled enemies. That's pretty much all she does. I'm not sure how much of her gameplay I'm going to be showing off, to be perfectly honest with you, until we get, you know, more offensive arts with her. And come to think of it, I kind of want to go back to Cross, but yeah, Monolith Soth, I love the fact that you can play as other characters in your games. It's just such a good feature that needs to be in almost every RPG. Heck, I just remember, you know, playing Kingdom Hearts for the first time. I was like, I want to play as Donald. And they were like, yo, Donald kind of sucks. And it's like, I don't care, just let me play. Why am I talking about Kingdom Hearts? I don't know, I'm having a good day today. Anyways, our next objective is right up here. And that scale ain't looking so hot. Oh boy.
Damn. I knew we would have heard from them by now.
It was definitely fighting something. But this damage, it's not the usual claw or bite marks.
No signs of the team. If they were eaten, we'd know it. So did they walk away, or were they taken? Right. Either way, they couldn't have gotten very far. Let's keep looking.
Hold up, Elma. Check this out. I'm picking up an Earth-based IFF signal coming from that direction. It's Pathfinder.
That thing over there, maybe?
It doesn't look natural, does it?
No, it doesn't. It it looks like trouble.
And look at this. I'm picking up readings for other life forms too. Multiple signals, moving around inside the structure. Elma, you don't think...
I think you're right. Look at their movements. They're controlled, orderly. They're definitely not wild animals. Now the question is, are they native to Mira? Or are they visitors like us? And if so, from where?
You think it's one of the forces that destroyed Earth?
Let's not jump to any conclusions. It's a big universe out there. Of course, we shouldn't rule it out either.
Should we call this into HQ?
Yes, but not from here. If we're picking up their signals, they might be close enough to intercept ours.
You there! Drop your weapons!
Stay calm. We don't want to provoke them.
Earth aliens! Surrender! Now!
They know about Earth? You may have been right after all, Lynn.
What are you doing?
It's okay, Lynn. Just stand down. I'm not sure why, but somehow they're able to communicate with us.
Meaning?
Meaning we need to know if diplomacy is a viable option.
Roger that.
We come in peace, and we're willing to negotiate. If you have any Earth alien prisoners, we'd ask the conditions for their release. If you don't, we'll leave you in peace.
No negotiation. No conditions. We have our orders. All Earth aliens must die.
Well, I guess negotiations are out of the question, and right here I want to talk about the battle menu. You can direct your characters kind of in this game, and okay, we got the stagger. I definitely want to topple that and then go for the flame grenade, because that should do a ton of damage to this prone scout. But yeah, you can't really issue direct controls in this complex of a game, so they give us this battle menu, and since this guy is really not that tough, you can tell your party members to either exclusively use melee attacks, conserve their tension points, or just get in the scale and kick some butt. Honestly, I kind of like that because in a heated battle, you're not going to always be able to issue the most coherent of commands. So I always kind of scratched my head in games where you had direct control over everybody. Oh my gosh, getting the tuffle again. I love my teammates, man. Honestly, I gotta say, this is a really cool team composition we got here. And also, we have this new art, which is Infuriate. It's a debuff. Now this guy's forced to attack me. And now he's dead.
So much for the diplomatic approach. What's the deal with wanting us all dead anyway?
Yeah, I wonder. They did mention they were following orders. Maybe someone higher up their chain of command would be willing to negotiate.
So something very suspicious is happening in this section of Primordia, and we need to find out what, since, well, we need to find that Pathfinder after all, and let's try and grab his treasure really quickly. I really hope there is a way that we can retrieve treasure, like, faster and using the field actions, because I'm not gonna lie, it gets a little tedious to keep hitting that, and it looks like we got some decent stuff. Not bad, I'll have to check that out later, but yes. This is where you're going to be doing a lot of fighting, and that is the location we need to head to. If I could, let's actually change my mini-map. I haven't done this before, but yeah, you can zoom in and out. It's pretty cool, gotta say. Wish there was a built-in map, but oh well.
Lynn, can you give us an approximate location for that IFF signal?
Let's see. Seems to be originating from that building over there.
Then we'd better get moving. There's no time to lose.
And I like how that cutscene literally just re-explained what I just said. I guess that's kind of my fault. And oh, the Pawn Purgilus. Can we even fight this thing? You know what? I'm gonna try. But yes, as I was saying before, this is where you're going to see a lot of combat in Xenoblade. I know in the beginning we weren't really doing too much. And alright, the stagger. Let's follow up with Assault Hammer. Get the tension points and go in there. Okay, sweet. So far we're doing okay. But the issue is, even at this point in the game, Lyn can only take so much damage, so we need to be careful for that. And I'm going to try and destroy the... Okay, we got it. Nice. Now let's move on to the bottom gun. Once we destroy the top, it's not going to be able to do as much damage, and we might as well show off Infuriate again. So just like Lyn's ability to taunt, and oh my god, that might have been a bad idea to use that soul voice there. I cannot take anywhere as much damage as Lyn. Oh my god. Okay. Someone else want to pull off me and tank the enemy? Yeah, I'm just gonna let my team focus this guy down. He'll probably be on the better strategy, but yeah, focusing down the points of damage on enemies, get used to doing that. If you've ever played a Monster Hunter game before, and I know I just keep referencing other franchises you may have not played, why did I infuriate again? Oh my god, I'm not thinking, dude, okay. This is turning bad. When we destroy certain parts of an enemy, they can no longer use certain arts or attacks. So if we cut the tail off of a Grex, it can't use its tail attacks. And okay, we defeated that enemy. Gotta say, that did not go super well, but we did get some new equipment, so I guess it was kind of worth it. But yeah, also something I haven't mentioned. When you exit combat and there's no one to battle you, you rapidly heal. You may notice we are really, really low HP, and now we're full HP. That's why. And over here is another probe, which we might as well just, you know, capture. I don't see a reason not to, and these guys should go down really quickly. And alright, that battle went, well, pretty easily, and now we have installed this probe. I recommend you grab this one, and I'm gonna try my best, guys, to make battles as interesting as possible. If it's the same enemy we just battled 5 minutes ago, I'm not gonna make you guys watch that again, unless I'm trying to show off a new art, etc. But where we need to go is not over here, because if memory serves me right, there's gonna be a lot of enemies that we really don't need to encounter, and I believe some level 40 ones, and you really don't want to deal with that. So let's try and head up here and get to where that building is. Meanwhile, picking up item orbs, why the heck not? A rock orange. I'd really like to see what that looks like inside the Collectopedia, but right up here is where we need to go, and I know I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite, but I'm actually going to battle this guy, despite him being extremely similar to past enemies, because I want to talk about our main character here for a moment. I know I've said, yo, use the BP, it's gonna make your skills a lot stronger, and that's a great idea and all, but for this class, this current class, you may not want to do that, and please don't use that, thank you, because our arts are not going to carry over. So keep that in mind. I know you may like the Drifter, but reality is, we only have one more, actually no, we have two more ranks with it, so it's not going to be long until it's time to choose a class, so keep that in mind. And is there anything I need to fight up here? No, I'm just going to hop the area, because I really don't want to aggro those enemies, and when I say aggro, guys, that means I'm just grabbing the attention of enemies, and I don't think there's a way around these pawn page, so we're going to have to fight them. And before we do that, though, this skill is called an aura. Until now, we haven't had any of our arts consuming any of our TP. However, if an art has the words TP, and those aren't words, John, those are letters, it will consume 1,000. I'm going to show it off in this fight, but this is what I was talking about when I said, basically, TP has no downside, and I really need to focus down an appendage. Okay, staggered. Let's knock him down. Get that, and go for the flame grenade, and I really need to move that art over, but once I take a little bit of damage, I'll show you what I mean. And can Lyn really take them all on by herself? I'm going to give her chrome armor just so there's no way she can lose. And so far, things are looking okay. These guys aren't too tough, but I haven't taken much damage. And you know what? Second thought, I have. So you may notice the green bar went down a little bit. That's what happens when you use an aura. Auras are basically like buffs, except they take TP to use. That means they're usually pretty darn strong, and can we please finish these guys off before sunrise? Holy crud. But yeah, you're starting to get a notice of why I really do enjoy this combat system. If you've ever played an MMORPG before, it's incredibly similar, and oh man, Lyn really needs a heal, so we need to destroy these guys ASAP. I'm going to use Infuri just to taunt them and make sure that we can attack the next one, and he should go down really quickly. And I did not focus, or tell my team to focus, so that's kind of bad. And I also did not use Slit Edge from the side, so we didn't get the bonus effect. And please do not KO Lin. That would be really uncool of you, dude. I gotta say. Just throwing that out there. Okay. You're getting the Flame Grenade. And then after that, we're gonna build up Slit Edge and destroy you. And oh my gosh, are we really... I guess our armor is terrible. I thought we could get through this area without updating it, but I suppose not. Oh well. The enemy has been destroyed. Can't say I'm all that surprised, but yeah. Combat in this game is really, really intricate. And in the next episode of Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles X, we're gonna dive more into why I love it so much when we have our first pseudo-boss fight that isn't a tyrant. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next... I went way too far. Next video. Bye.